But when I saw these tax bills that came out, and as being someone in real estate that I've dealt with tax bills and had to deal with this crap, I said, man, I don't know what I would do if my tax bill came back and it's triple. Fucking play planning. I don't know what I would do. What are they gonna do? And the time slot to fix this is really and is going. When they hit 2026, depending on the municipality for Cook County, it's gonna cut off. They can only appeal it, but really, if it's everybody, you got to run an audit and find out what's going on. You really do. Everybody. I haven't seen one where someone said my tax bill went down. If it didn't double, it tripled. Mm. Mm. Yeah, it should be able to. You're supposed to leave a school when you hit a certain threshold. But Cook County had a board meeting, and I wonder if they're going to drag out this mayor. I just wonder what they're going to do with this guy.
I guess $1 million Tony couldn't make it today. She too busy loving her home she just got for $1 million, while we just received these high property tax bills. So we all here because of our property taxes. Some here, like Zoe and Miss Jessica, because y'all stealing black people property. So I just want to know, because we just came from the city council meeting. We're coming there, and the city is blaming the county. And now you just...
Okay, so I know there's a conspiracy. People say stealing black people's property. I'm gonna spell this out for you. Most of these properties are in what predominantly African American areas, minorities. You did have illegal immigrants that were forced. Well, African Americans that were forced to live with illegal immigrants in the same communities. So when we go to bid on tax on properties, when there's an auction called a tax auction, tax deed, and it's true in Chicago, like it is down here in Atlanta, in Georgia, true in Florida. My father-in-law used to buy a bunch of these. I know a girl that she built her whole portfolio off of tax deeds. They can buy these taxes when they go delinquent for these property owners and tack on top of it, depending on the municipality and the state guidelines. It can be 5%, 10, 15, 19% on top of that tax bill. So now the city doesn't incur that delinquency. It's almost like the tax investor saying, I'm going to buy the taxes off of your hands, city of Chicago, so you don't have to deal with the delinquent tax. And I'm going to collect the money from the homeowner, the residents, the person who owns the property. And when they pay me back, they're going to pay me back plus this in interest. So when they're saying there's a grab for land and for property, we are talking about some of the most expensive property in the Midwest. Chicago, you can't sleep on it. The property's still very, very expensive, very well positioned. But it makes it now where it becomes easier for companies who do this type of tax investing, which we got a big one in Atlanta, in Georgia, that does it. I think it's called land something land. But they buy delinquent taxes left and right. And they do it in Atlanta big. And once they got it, there's only a period of time between that you can go missing this tax, or trying to pay it off bit by bit until it just snowballs into a big clusterfuck. And that property moves from delinquent tax position to now we can foreclose on it because of that. And now, if you don't have a bank that comes out to secure and cover their position and to buy those taxes before it goes into foreclosure, which some of these banks do, you're going to be left with people that specialize in buying tax deeds, tax delinquent properties, gobbling up a lot of this land the same way they were gobbling it up in Atlanta when it came to coming out of the Great Housing Reset. Yeah. So this is when I say what's happening just clear across the board, because it's not just Chicago. You got a bunch of other municipalities that are feeling this. But Chicago got hit really hard because when you carrying, what is that? I think it's 500 million, some crazy 300 million obscene number when it comes to taking care of illegal immigrants, that because you're a sanctuary city, so you got to take care of them, you got to provide for them and do all those different things. Who's going to pay for it? The tax people. This is why Donald Trump is going to stay where he is. This is why this second midterm, this is why local politics may actually start to change its face in certain places. People just have to be frustrated enough. And the worst thing that you can do is to take away mama, Pookie and them, daddy and them house. That's the worst thing you can do. When daddy and Pookie and them start losing their house, you got to see some of those black people go to thinking this is Black Wall Street all over again. Okay? Even if it made sense and they didn't understand what it meant to live in a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city, they will find out now. They will find out now. They'll find out now. So the question is going to be, what are they going to do to change this before this time frame lapse? Because they've only got a certain amount of time before they run an audit and they find some way to reset this tax bill.
Blaming Springfield. And then when all these people, when they go to these town hall meetings and you send your puppets, they lie and they blame the invisible white man. Somehow they are pushing us out of our community. They want our property. They want black people property. They never say who it is. They just say, you know who they are. But when I come up in here, I see all black faces. I see Democrats. So are we talking about the Democrats are pushing black people out of their communities? The Democrats hate black people. The Democrats want our property and replace us with illegal aliens, because you all come in these meetings talking about the invisible white person, but we don't never see him, but we see all of you all here. And then you sit here, all these black faces, you sit here all Democrats, and you sit here all arrogantly like your seats are secure, like we are not coming after these seats. Just like I told Brennan Johnson over there the first time I spoke on that mic, I said the same thing that's making y'all laugh and here gonna make y'all cry. And then you see what's happening. Same thing here. Now I'm giving y'all warning right here.
There was a season when the Democratic Party had the craziest ground game when it came to local politics. I suspect with all of this that's taking place, we're really gonna see a change when it comes to local politics for the Democratic Party, because even with all of the craziness that's going on in the Republican Party right now, the inward fighting, the America First versus MAGA and all that other stuff, we still haven't seen the Democrats get over themselves. Literally, they're their own worst enemy right now, because this coalition, this umbrella coalition, rainbow coalition, going back to Jesse Jackson Day, right? This rainbow coalition that they push, get it, rainbow coalition. Yeah, that you guys push. It's almost becoming the death of the party, because when you shed more light on some of this crazy stuff, you got to ask yourself the question, is it worth your peace of mind? Is it worth now taking care of people who come here illegally out of some sense of morality? You feel you have to do it. Is it worth this high-ass tax bill that you're going to be dealing with? Because you guys are funding it. I'm not even talking about what happens downtown in Chicago. The businesses have already left. I was looking at some of the flagship companies that have buildings down there. It's crazy. Detroit has so much shit going on. Chicago can learn from Detroit. They can learn from it. But they continuously repeat this insanity, this craziness. They're seeing a shift from what normally would be covered by commercial taxes by a lot of these commercial buildings and companies that move into these buildings and things like that. If they're vacant, you can't collect from them. You can't collect from them. Now, is this going to change the scope of Chicago?
The same thing that's making y'all laugh in here is going to make y'all cry. Mark my words. See, y'all sit here too comfortably, thinking that everything, black people stupid, that we don't understand what's going on, that we're going to vote blue no matter who, and all y'all got to do is use the race card. All y'all got to do is call white supremacy, the white man. But we're in a heavily Democratic city from top to bottom. State and city, all Democrats. So can we say that the Democrats are racist white men or white women? Who is it? Because this is what y'all telling us. So I'm letting you all know, Chicago flips red. We are not paying these taxes. We are calling for a boycott on these taxes. Nobody is playing this game no more. We won't pay our taxes until we get a forensic audit on where all our money is going. We're demanding that. We're asking President Trump to send the feds here.
30 seconds.
The DOJ here. We need a forensic audit on where our money is going. And we are not paying no property taxes. And we are calling for a boycott. And we're going around to every ward in the city and calling for it. You all going to learn to stop playing with us. And you all going to learn that you all work for us. And none of these seats secure. And we coming for those seats. And you can sit there like you sitting there, like you unbothered, all of you all. Yeah, but you getting up out of those
seats. Next speaker is Dennis.
You getting up out of there. You can sit down there and be all about you getting up out of it's the arrogance to me.
And right now,
it's the arrogance. It's the arrogance. Do you know that when these tax bills go out, man, they do it based upon recent solds and how those solds went up in value. So if a property sold, okay, and it goes up in value, 100,000 more, two doors down from you, 3 doors down from you, very similar to yours, is going to affect your property value because now you're showing the county that, hey, these properties are worth more in value. I know that Chicago didn't go through that level of appreciation that some of these other places went through. I can tell. I not just tell, I know. I spoke to investors that buy down there, wholesalers that wholesale there, all of that stuff. Fix and flip. Those days, they've made it so hard for people in that business to actually make a penny, to earn money. Forgetting that it's the mom and pops that actually do this. It's not these big corporations, even though they have a footprint in it. It's still the mom and pops. Mom and pops can't even move with a level of surety up there when you talk about the numbers. They can't. You guys did it to yourself. You guys did it to yourself. Nobody started to talk about this. This wasn't an issue when Biden was in office. Y'all let him quiet y'all down. Y'all hushed up. Y'all said y'all got on the anti-Trump bandwagon. Y'all did all this vicious shit that I saw, and people got upset. They said, "Why you want to talk about politics?" And say using Trump's name was such an evil thing to do. What does he know? All of this stuff. All of this. But you got a mayor that's robbing from you. You got a governor over in Minnesota that acts like he doesn't know. And he almost was your VP. Almost was your VP. It's funny. Nothing can continue to blow up. It has to retract. It's got to come in. It's got to come in. It's got to come in, guys. You really don't know. It's got to come in. We're on the brink of one of the most global, one of the most deep changes, fundamental changes in the fabric of our country. And I keep saying it, and I see it because when I look at the documentaries, when we transition from horse and carriage to trains, when we transition from kerosene that was used to light houses to electricity. This is no different when we went from no internet to internet. Now we're going from white collar services, jobs being taken by AI, a slimming of the market, which is whenever that happens, I'm not saying that it's not going to expand, but knowing how to actually navigate AI and things that's taking place on the tech side is going to change how you do business. It's going to roll downhill, and they're screaming about taxes, but you miss the back end, that money going over there to those immigrants that are these illegal immigrants that are replacing you guys in the workforce. Tied with AI, the inability to actually implement it in your business or your everyday life. Like I told my wife the other day, she was talking about something, I think it was talking about house duties and something she had to do with. I said, why don't you just ask AI to make a workflow out for this with the kids? But how? And I'm sorry, I know why it's like that, because to take the minute to actually think in your everyday life, when you get home from work, when you got to deal with kids, when you got to look at bills, when you got to look at the extra curricular activities, and now you got somebody screaming on the internet saying you need to do 2 hours worth of some implementation of AI into your life on a daily basis to make your life better, blah, blah, blah. You don't see it now, but in the next 5 years it's going to happen. This is it. These taxes are going to be the least thing you're concerned with, because even if they get the taxes brought down, going back to what I said again, you still got to deal with you're living in a sanctuary city. And you guys have volunteered to take care of all the illegals that cross the border. And you just are, it's part of your Rainbow Coalition, Chicago. It's part of it. It's part of the Rainbow Coalition you're part of. Your mayor he's jockeying for the DNC dollars for his next election. And everybody sitting there that's saying that this is cool. I'm a conspiracy theorist when I tell you they paid, they covered, they taken care of. Y'all say I'm crazy. People would say I'm a conspiracy theorist with it. That's why I just want to move through with some of these topics, because it's plain and it's simple to me. I see it. If Nancy Pelosi makes 174 million sitting in Congress, your local politicians make a bag. They make a bag, like a real bag.
Congratulations. Well done.
We've incentivized public service as being the direction or the route to wealth. I know it, because prior to Alex Hormozi actually dropping his most recent book, what is it, $1 Million Models, 9 out of the 10, nonfiction best-selling books were political books from politicians. Yeah. 9 of the 10 in the top 10 spot. You think a nonfiction book would belong to someone like what's his name? Warren Buffett, any of these other business leaders that you got. But no, nonfiction belong to politicians.
Leaders on Chicago's West Side are sounding the alarm over what they call an immoral and orchestrated land grab.
So skyrocketing property taxes that we have covered, including some that have more than doubled, could lead to longtime homeowners and businesses losing everything here. Christian Farr is joining us with what these leaders want done right now and why they say time is running out here. Christian?
Yeah, they have been fighting for some time now. Now, last night there was an emergency town hall where hundreds of outraged West Side residents demanded relief from rising Cook County property taxes. There was a big increase in the South and West Sides, but other more affluent communities were not hit as hard.
The demand is simple.
At the Columbus Park Refectory Tuesday morning, West Side community leaders gathered in their continuing fight to address the high increase in property taxes for poor neighborhoods on the South and West Sides.
Your politicians over there are lying to y'all. They not for y'all. They never were for you. They never were for you.
Calling for a freeze of the taxes at the current level.
Oh, New Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church. New Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church. Man, when will we learn? Like when will we notice and realize when all of this noise is just designed to keep us doing what, look, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy guy. Listen, I'm not. But you gotta listen to me, guys. You gotta listen to me. These are the same organizations that get paid, that Kamala Harris paid money, her campaign paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend her position, advocate for her in the local cities and municipalities that she was running to gain a foothold in. Money, NAACP, some of these local Baptist churches, some of these local coalitions, some of these local nonprofits, and they got the millions, they got the hundreds of thousands, they got the money. And they went and voted for her. While they're doing this, the same vote to put her in place is the same vote that's killing their tax bill right now. That's dragging this shit out. That's going to make them lose their homes and their businesses. The same vote. Oh, because that's the same machine that they're funding, that they're paying her. That DNC machine, that same machine right there. My God. When they say that rich people knew loopholes, when they say millionaires and billionaires loopholes, do you not realize that there is so many loopholes that you can use to actually make sure shit like this doesn't happen? Where you can live in a house and it can belong to your LLC and you can build wealth from that and adding other pieces to it. Do you not know? This is the most primitive. This is the issue where the people who don't know how to leverage the laws that are put in place for their betterment, they rather do a social justice advocacy. This is me. Listen, to hell with it. I'm going to use these damn loopholes, okay? I'm going to use them the best that I can, and I'm going to use them every freaking time. I'm going to use them. I'm not going to sit down here and say, oh, I don't like a person like Trump because he filed bankruptcy on his business multiple times. I will file it in a heart, doggone beat. I will. Y'all can act like that's some moral high ground to stand on, but your moral high ground where you can't even put the freaking, you don't even put, we have a phrase where put the gas mask on yourself first before you put it on anybody else. You can't put the gas mask on yourself in your community. You can't do that because the people that you vote into power, they don't really want your vote. They just want the power. They don't want the responsibility of taking care of you or looking out for you or being an advocate for you on a local level or even a national level, doing what's right for your wealth, your generational wealth. They don't. That's it. Roland Martin is part. Yeah, he is. All of these guys who stand up here and they look like the most eloquently put together, college graduated. Oh yeah, I achieved this and I have to go through this academic rigorous journey in order to get to this place to tell you, profoundly tell you that Trump is wrong and they're all coming. I never said that everything Trump does and says is right. But I do know this for a fact. The time of giving away money to people who don't give two shits about us has to come to an end sometime. It really does, whether you're talking about fraud over in Minnesota or you're talking about this. Because somebody's getting a check. People are still getting a check off of you guys in Texas. You got I'm sorry, Chicago. You got to. Somebody pays someone to ignore this problem. Somebody does it. Like somebody convinces and persuades someone that this is an okay thing to do to their constituents, the residents of the city. They and slowly push out and make every last company that can actually pay a good wage to people who would actually need it. They push them out. They push them out. It logically makes no sense. But when you are only led by color and that's the only thing that you see, you get to the point and you realize now the only color that they see is the color green, not your black ass. That's it. It's not.
The people downtown a year to work with us to straighten this out.
Even older homeowners who have access to tax breaks are struggling to pay these growing bills.
You retire, you think you're going to have enough money, and that your property taxes go up more. So that break that they think they gave me didn't help because the taxes went up.
The Cook County Treasurer's Office says the south and west sides were hit the hardest, with West Garfield Park seeing a 133% increase in property taxes and Inglewood seeing an 82% increase. But
oh my God. I'm gonna make this math make real sense. Let me math this out real quick. This is why this is insane. If you have a tax bill of $2,500, you divide it over 12 months, part of your monthly payment that you pay, principals, interest, taxes, right? You're escrowing about $208 a month in taxes. At that level right there, most of the counties that when you're paying about $2,500, your house typically runs somewhere around the mid threes on up. 300, mid threes on up. Imagine seeing it going from 2,500 times, oh my, what? That's insane. That's insane. Who can pay their bills?
17 north and northwest side communities saw increases under 10%, and more specifically, affluent Lincoln Park was hit with only a 5.9% increase.
The man assessed us, but he didn't assess downtown. He didn't assess any corporations. He only assessed the people that can't pay.
In response to today's press conference, Cook County Assessor Fritz Kage's office once again pointed blame at the Cook County Board of Review, saying when its commissioners reduced assessments for commercial properties during the appeals process, they shifted about $700 in property taxes onto each homeowner in Chicago.
And that makes sense because if you're talking about, wow, God have mercy. Why? They reduced the assessment of commercial properties during the appeals process. Why? Commercial is supposed to carry the residential. Commercial has the money to do it. They have the bread to do it. And the job is to advocate in the city with some of these some of these guys that's over these different districts to bring in the commercial business so that they can carry most of this burden, not to pass it on to the people, not to.
Last week, Commissioner Larry Rogers said Kage can fix this problem.
He's over-assessed those properties, and he can lower them. He's done it for the northern suburbs, and he can do it for West Garfield Park, Lawndale, and other African-American communities.
And this conversation is continuing. Tomorrow, Cook County Assessor Fritz Kage will hold a press conference with South and West Side leaders. His office, again, is going to blame the Cook County Board of Review commissioners, saying they hand out tax breaks to big downtown properties, which then impact those poor communities, of course, on the South and West Side.
That doesn't seem to explain why they wouldn't go up in north side neighborhoods like Lincoln Park if it was just residential.
Right, there are assessments done at different times. Like last year, it was the south suburbs. They saw some big increases. Hopefully, maybe there will be a consideration about that freeze because people are really hurting right now.
No question. All right, thanks so much, Christian.
The commercial portion in real estate is getting hit, not just in Chicago.